Look at the atrocities on my nail table. I can't believe they're my own nails. Okay, before you get upset at my nails looking so horrible, this is the reason why. I was wanting to do this set of nails like a French. So I wanted it to grow out because I really wanted to show how to do the French and cut it in. And then I wanted to do maybe a full set of a beautiful design. And then I had all sorts of ideas for this hand, but I just wanted to grow it out because I thought it'd be a really good example of showing maybe a nail fill. But I've been pretty busy lately. I moved a warehouse. So this has been through a move. And I think I looked back to see when I did them. And I believe it was between August 2nd and August 9th. And today is, what's the date, Cameraman?
It's October 1st.
October 1st. Right? So these nails have grown out since then. So this is like, what is that, like 8-week grow out? 7? This is terrible. So I haven't had a chance. I've been so busy, I haven't had a chance to get down here to do them. But now they've gotten so bad, I thought now they're a perfect example to show what happens when you put off, prolong, or skip your very important nail fill. Now, up until about 7 weeks, actually, we have a video. I was doing Steve's nails. He's one of the reasons why I delayed it, because he was having lifting issues, and he was starting a new job, and I really wanted to do those nails, so we skipped this for another few days. And in that video, my nails looked, they were still hanging in there, but since then, they have taken a beating. And this is what happens. They can look pretty good, but once the few days gets past when they're really bad, this is what starts to happen. The breakdown is horrifying. So now the job to fix these is a lot of work. If you get a fill after 3 or 4 weeks, it really is just buffing up the natural nail, filing the product, maybe pushing the apex back a little bit. For the nail technician and yourself, it's cheaper, but for the nail tech, it's not as much work. But when you let it grow out like this is a lot of work. So what I have to do as a nail technician right now, I won't scold my client, which is me. I won't say that. I'll just fix them. So let's assess this set and see what it needs to fix it. It's going to be a longer appointment, of course. Now, as horrible as these look, they've been through a lot. They survived, surprisingly. Like I say, it's almost 8 or so weeks. But look at how smooth that cuticle is. There's virtually no, like that's a really smooth cuticle. It just flows smooth there. That's what you want. And beautiful apex, which is able to help this nail stay on longer. But it does give you a false sense of like strength in it because you think it's feeling good. And then all of a sudden, it was feeling good up to about 7.5 weeks. And then all of a sudden, they just started to feel awful. And look what I did to the pinky. This is proof right here how far I've gone. And I've just gone too far. I've crossed the line. And now this is making it so much more work. This just bent like this. And look at that. It just lifted. Just this popped right up here. And you can even see parts of it is chipped off and ripped part of the nail away. This was not a comfortable. This, I was moving something, a big cabinet, and it kind of fell on it a bit and bent it. Ugh, it really hurt, I gotta tell you. It was not comfortable. But I set myself up. That was totally my fault because I didn't get a fill on time. You have to get a fill on time or this is what happens. And it could be fine up to that 7th, 8th week. And then all of a sudden the next day, this is what happens. This is a chance we take. So if I look at it sideways as well, do you see how heavy this nail is here? And that's one of the reasons why every day you add is like twice as bad as the day before. And then the next day is 3 times as bad and so on, 4 times as bad because it is hanging off the end so much more and the leverage is so much greater and the pressure on the end of the nail is so much heavier, and every day that gets exponentially worse. So this used to be here and this arch used to be here. And now this whole nail is moved out so it's all the heavy is on here. And with this length, it's a disaster waiting to happen. This is why a tech says come between 3 and 5 weeks. 4 weeks is the average for a nail fill. If your nails grow faster, you might want to come 3. If they grow a little slower, you can push it to 5, maybe 6, right? But don't go 7 and 8. This is what can happen at 7 and 8. Okay, so that's another very bad thing is the way it goes like that. They're all going to do that. Now the pinky did it. It's a much smaller nail, so it's definitely going to do it. And the cabinet fell on that one. And look at these other ones. What's starting to blow on these, which is I'm so glad I did this actually, because it really does show us if we go too far, this is where we're heading. And this is what our nail technicians and myself are trying to avoid you going through. And you can see, look at this little chip here, that little chip. And this is starting to wear away here. See this here? It's just getting, look at this little chip under here. It's where the natural nail joins too, right? It's just ready to go. And let's look at the surface of this. Okay, this really tells a horrible story too. The more I waited, see this bubble appearing right here? Now this looks a little whiter in here, but I believe this was a lighter product that I was using. So I don't think that's particularly a lift, but there's definitely a lift right here. Can you see that little bubble? We'll see if Cameraman can circle that right there. It's just really clear right there. That is because I waited too long and some pressure came and I probably pushed it this way and pop goes a bubble in the inside. That's awful. Okay, and then this one too, it looks like there's a bit of a bubble forming here too. And you can see on the pinky, it started forming there. It would look like this one over here, but it started forming here and then it just broke. So these are a mess. Now, as gross as the top side is, oh goodness. Let's look at the underside. Oh, one more thing on the top side. This one isn't doing as much, but you see how this is kind of bulging out a little bit on the side? That's also part of a nail fill sometimes, because when it comes down here, it's fitting into here, into the apex and having a bit of an arch and coming up. And then when it grows out, you can really see it bulging out here. That looks horrid. It's just a kind of a picky observation. Okay. And then, of course, because they're growing long now, I don't mind the kind of hook, but that's too much for me. These are too long for me. I don't wear my nails this long. But, okay. Remember I said the underside? Let's get a look at the underside. Okay. So these are the reality of natural nails underneath. Now, I did deliberately leave them a little bit like this and didn't clean them up specifically because I wanted you to see what the natural nail really looks like. So when you keep the natural nail under there, this is what happens. Natural nails get old and natural nails curve as they grow longer. So we've got it pulling away on this side here. You can see that it's not attached all the way along the top side here and all the way along this side here. And this one, any dark spots, that's when it's starting to peel away a little bit. And that's when kind of dirt and debris and spices and all that can get trapped up in there. And same with this one a little bit on this side. And then the pinky, of course, it gets a little less action than all the fingers. So it's not as bad sometimes, but it's not pretty. So when I redo these nails, I don't know what design I'm going to do, but I'm probably going to pull all of this off. Now I can soak it, but I'm not a soaker. I like to file it off. It's much quicker, and I'm just taking the parts off that are icky. You can see the natural nail too is in very good shape. The cuticles are in great shape. There's nothing going on there. It looks fantastic. So I am going to have to file all this off. And because I'm going to do a new set of nails, maybe even a new design entirely, a lot of these nails, actually, I'm going to file it all off. But I'll do one and I'll show you exactly what you want to do to a nail that is compromised. Let's pick this guy here. Oh, maybe I should do the pinky. It's harder to do the pinky on camera because I can't hold it the same. But maybe I'll do this one and show you a few tricks that I do so you can get this off easier. Okay, so I'm going to use my bulk and sculpt. And the one trick I will tell you that's super, super important, when you're filing a nail that's more off than on, what I mean is this. Look at this. See this nail here? My free edge is here. The nail growth is here. The natural nail is here. And I got about as much fake nail that's trying to get off. I would not start filing this bubble to get it off right away. If I know I'm going to shorten the nail or do a new design now, not many people now like the natural nail underneath. So we're probably going to take this right off and get rid of that natural nail. So I've got to shorten it anyway. But don't attack that little bubble if you're just going to file that off. If you're going to soak it off, then you can get that little bubble will just kind of slide off. But that takes a lot longer. I prefer to file it. So what I'm going to do before I start to file anything, especially when you get one like this, do not file this and take up all the lifted area, just like this finger. Do not take the lifted area up before you do this. And what you want to do is shorten it first. Okay, the reason why you want to shorten it first is because when you're going to start to file that bubble or any lifted area on top, when you start to file that bubble out, you're going to have less hanging on to the finger. If you file any of the stuff that's attached to the nail, you're going to have too much weight on the other end. So when you go to shorten it after you've removed this part, it's going to hurt. So get rid of the length first. It'll be a lot more comfortable for you or your customer. A lot more comfortable for filing off any lifted area. So make that nice and short and then go after filing the thickness. This one isn't too bad. Like I say, most of it is attached. It's just this little bubble. And for those of you who might not know, you want to file every little lifted area off. And the reason why we do that is because we don't want to trap any air or debris or oil or bacteria or anything in the nail before we put new product on. We always want to remove any lifted area. That's just a general rule that you should do to be safe on every nail service that you do. Anything that's lifted, remove it first. You see, that's quite a bubble. Look at that guy, eh? See that? He's just like, he's dying to come off. He's not lifted a little bit. He's lifted a lot of it, and he does not want to be there. I'm doing these short little stabs because that is the best way to reduce the heat and make sure you're not causing too much friction to cause any heat on the natural nail bed. The more I'm filing, the thinner it's getting, of course. So you want to, I'm going to turn this down a bit now. And I file all around it because filing the lifted area is kind of pointless because the lifted area is lifted. There's no point in filing a lifted area because it's already lifted. So you want to file the area around it to detach it. Sort of like if you're going to remove a door, you want to detach it from the hinges first. You don't need to open the door because it's still attached by the hinge. So I'm trying to remove the hinge, you might say. So I file all the way around. That pink area all the way around is attached. Okay, I'm just putting my other little bit in to just see if I can pinpoint around the edge just a little bit more. Just trying to separate that little lifted piece. Okay, this should work now. See? It's like a little door. I just opened it. Okay, let's take a look at that pinky. I'm going to show you the same thing. That might hurt a little. So when I'm doing a customer and they've broken a nail like this, I can't do it here because it's too difficult, but I would literally hold the customer's nail. I'd take my thumb and place it on top of the lifted nail, and then I'd file off that free edge. That's how I do that because it really is uncomfortable, but you want to get rid of that first because you can't, then there's nothing to hang on to. At least they're attached. But if I filed this all off first, because you can see how much comes off, right? Look at this one. Now am I going to hold it? There's there's this, but very little. At least this one is still attached to the rest. So I'm going to hold that like that, and then I'm going to file it for the customer as short as I can. But I can't do that for myself. So I'm going to try. Oh yeah, this is what I do. This is what I do, I remember. I do a weird thing where I do grab. Did you catch that? This is what I do. I just remembered this is what I do for my pinky especially. And you can do it with other fingers too. Yeah, I do, but the pinky's easier to do it because it's a shorter finger. So this is what I do to hang on to it. I wrap this finger, the ring finger, around the pinky, pull it back like this. See that? And then I grab my other two fingers and hold it just like that. Now I can brace it that I can file that free edge because this is, when I busted it, when it lifted, it was very painful. I'm going to turn this up. It was only on 6, but I'm going to crank it up to 11 or 12, 13, somewhere in there. And I'm going to try to hit it straight on and just shorten. Try to be careful not to hit your other nails. Oh, that's amazing. I didn't feel a thing. It did not hurt at all. Now, when I broke that as a lift, it hurt so bad. It hurt for like a couple days. I bruised it, right? So I remember hanging onto it, like just touching it. I was like, ooh, it's so sensitive. I haven't broken a nail like that in years. Well, I've not let it go 8 weeks before. Okay, look at those. Aren't they dreadful? Those are ugly. Okay. So now I've taken away the heavy bulk that was weighing it, and now I'm just going to take off this bulk because I have to get rid of every lifted spot on here. And it's very gentle. It doesn't hurt. I filed clients where they broke it way worse than this, and I could file it so gently that they could not even feel it. You just get really good with the e-file that you just want to take your time, go slow, use bits that aren't old. They don't have to be brand new, but you don't want to have them old if they're dull, right? Look at that. We're getting right down to that. And I won't say it's tender or sore, but I can feel like it could be. I might even turn this down a little bit more. I'm going to turn it down to a 5. Now you can see all this was lifted. When it popped, it just all came off like that. You can see all those little lifts in there. Ugh. Wow, I haven't done one like this in a long time. Look at all that's just flaking off. See how red it is? That's because it was ripped. Oh, it's going to feel so good to get some nails on here because they were just feeling very, very vulnerable the past couple days. Okay. Getting really close to the natural nails, so I am just going to get my little baby arbor band, little mini, and just a 1. I'm just going to turn it on to a 1, and I'm just going to go around that cuticle and buff over the whole thing and get rid of any little residue here, any lifted. Sometimes you can dig down to these and find the natural nail has split. I knew I didn't do that because I have done that once in my whole nail career, which is almost 40 years. I've only done it once to myself. I've had clients come in and they've had that problem. That really hurts. That is a whole level different of pain, but very, very rare. But I did not do that in this situation. Okay, great. Okay, so I'm just gonna trim up that little edge. I'm gonna really shorten that natural nail. Just give it a break. Okay, I'm just going to give it a little once over with the sanding sponge. And this is ready for another nail enhancement. Now I could just put some oil on it and they're nice and short. So they're going to be a little bit vulnerable until it just like the bruising goes away. It's feeling pretty good now. Like I can squeeze it pretty good and oh, actually I don't really feel anything anymore. So I think the nail that was on there was pulling and that's what was hurting. So it may have bruised, but it's feeling pretty happy. And if you look really, oh, look what it caused though. This is what it can do. I don't think I've ever had one of these, but I'm going to show you. I've seen these on customers. See that little black dot there? Or it looks like a sliver. See a little sliver? I mean, it could be dirt, but I don't think it is. Let me look. No. That is oh, what do they call it? I called it a little blood sliver, and that's what it is. When the nail ripped like that, it ripped a little bit of the underneath on the nail bed, and they kind of have these little line pockets, and a little bit of tiny, tiny little blood went in there, and it settled in, and it looks like a sliver. That can happen when your nails are too long. It's a total indication of too long of nails. Actually, Steve had them a while back. My friend Steve, who comes on here sometimes, he had one that the nails were just too long, and he had one and he was wondering what that was. I think we caught that on camera too, actually. But if you can usually get a bunch of them in a row, and that means your nails are really, your enhancements are too long. Okay? So that's what was caused from that. And they are too long. I told you I don't wear them this long for any length of time. Okay, let's go back to this ugly one. Okay, this ugly one, we just want to clean it up and get it ready for a new product, new nail, right? So I'm just going to take away some of the old product that's still on here. Some discolored old stuff that I don't like. I'm going to shorten that quite a bit. Now this here, this might be, look at that. That's not product. That's my nail lifted back. When you have them too long, that's what can happen. When you go too long between nail fills, that's what can happen. And that's when the natural nail is lifting off the nail plate. We don't want that. That is damage and trauma to the natural nail. So I'm going, it's just on the side and it's on the free edge. Fortunately, it's just on the free edge there. So I'm going to file that off. Just going to make this as short as I possibly can. Looks like it's ripped the top layers. I don't think it's gone through all the way. So that is case in point what can happen to your natural nails if you let your fills go too long. And it's really unnecessary, and it's really, you kind of bring it on yourself kind of thing. It caused it, right? So your nail technician is not ripping you off when they say come in for a regular fill. You really do want to get in there for a regular fill. And especially if you have long nails. Long nails need more attention and more regular attention than shorter nails. Okay, this one I might have ripped this one a little bit too. This is a little bit of the natural nail on top too. Can't decide if that's product yet or natural nail that I've pulled up. Ouch. You know, and if they are feeling uncomfortable, that's what it's telling you, is that you're putting too much pressure on your nail plate. That's why I'm not really all about too long of nails, like 3-inch nails. It really is a lot on the nail plate. It's too much. You know, your nails are in layers, and I did rip the layers on top. It's not so much off of the entire nail bed. I thought it was at first. You know what's interesting? This one, the pinky, was worse off. I thought that one was almost to the point of bleeding. It really, really hurt. I really, really bruised it. And this one has less damage than this one. This one I really beat up. Very bad. Bad nail technician. I'm just getting rid of the product near the base of where the nail used to be. And just making sure that part is gone. Okay, so the natural nail has been ripped up in layers. And you know, that's right. The day or two before we were going to shoot this video, because I'm trying to hang on to this set of nails for this video, this one, I woke up really sore. This one really, really hurt. And I did notice a crack in the product. So I must have sort of bent it this way in the night without really realizing it, because it was not so before I went to bed. So, you know, we got to be careful with them, even when we're not, you know, trying to protect them when we're not using them and we don't want them that long. So we got to protect them even when we're sleeping. We don't want them. So we've got to fill them. You've got to fill them. Okay, I'll get some oil on these guys. Those were the two worst nails. They were painful, they were sore, and they barely made it out alive. Look at them. I mean, I can put new nails on them, but I wouldn't want to do that again. So I'm going to put some maybe shorter nails on them and let them recoup a little bit, and then let them grow out and sort of be on their own for a while without being irritated by long nails. That's what we don't want to do. I did remove the thumb. That was from my previous video. I was just trying to show how long the natural nail can get, and we don't want to have it too long because it just won't survive. That's a very interesting video if you want to check that one out. So this one I did have my natural nail, did survive a little bit, but that's not going to last long because it's too thin. But these ones didn't have any length on there whatsoever. And now I just got to get rid of these two guys, which are just basically ugly. There's a little bit of lifting in here, but there's nothing happening in here, just a really bad shave. Okay, so that is the reality of letting your nails go too long in between fills, and especially if your nails are on the longer side, they're gonna take a beating, and this is realistically what can happen. So when your nail technician says, come in for your fill, book within 3 to 5 weeks, this is why you don't want this to happen, because it hurts. Okay, I hope that helps understand why we need to get those things filled on time. Catch you in the next video.